After the group experience at Explore, I started my internship at Kern Road Mennonite Church, working with my pastor.
Emily's goals were to work in 3 areas: public ministry, her own study, and then also pastoral care.
The internship I thought would be very easy and kind of just laid back, but it hasn't entirely been that way.
I especially want to recognize Ben Suter and Emily Taylor, who were wonderful leaders for our junior hires.
Mustard Seed Camp is something that we started a couple years ago for junior hires. The task I assigned her was to provide games for gathering, and then also some kind of concrete spiritual practice. And she came up with this great idea of having these, thinking about a life of faith as a puzzle that has several pieces, several components that you fit together. And so each day, as part of what we were doing, she hands out a puzzle piece and the kids draw something on it. And then at the end, they will assemble them.
And the 2 questions I want you to think about are, where have I seen God working in this week? And where have I felt God lacking in this week? Where did you miss God's presence?
What Explore does brilliantly, and what I'm very interested in from a formation perspective, is drawing youth into the life of the congregation and partnering between generations. And so the setup of a mentoring relationship means that both the youth is in a regular, covenanted, accountable relationship with an adult who is, one would hope, a little farther along in faith and in experience.
It's not a pastor in training program. I saw it more of just like a growing in your faith and a growing in leadership.
I mean, what this does for me is I get sort of the freshness and excitement of Emily asking questions and wondering about things and saying, ooh, that's so weird, and freaking out about some things.
Oh, yes. yes. I'm giving a sermon this Sunday. That's way out of my comfort zone.
And finally, I'd like to leave you with one last word that Jesus told us from John 8:31-32. He says, "If you hold to my teachings, you really are my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free."
Everybody at my church has been really supportive. They've all been trying to see which ways they can get me involved. I've been helping out with the service just about every single Sunday.
It's challenging and interesting to me too, so I think we both benefit from it. And that, in a microcosm, is sort of what I think needs to happen in youth ministry. Making partners between people who are at different places in their faith, and everybody benefiting from that.
I'm pretty sure my church is looking for who they would send next to Explore, like my friend Ben, who I got to work with at Mustard Seed Camp.
Ben is a thoughtful, solid sophomore. And he was invited to be part of our leadership team for the MYF last year, and has been involved in several leadership development things through the congregation as well as extra-congregationally. And so he's sort of in the wings. I mean, we've got Emily, who's sort of flowering in it, and Ben is the person who's checking it out and is actually pretty good at a lot of this, and is also saying, that's what I want to do next. One of the things that I think is a great gift of Explore is to, I remember thinking a lot about my own pastoral identity. And the main difference I see in Emily coming back from the group experience is that she thinks of herself differently. So I made sure that the first Sunday she was here, her name was in the bulletin, so that she could see how we were seeing her.
I came to church one Sunday and I looked in the back and I'm like, hey, I'm a pastor. And then I started telling people. I told my boss at work, and now he calls me Pastor Emily.
And so that's really fabulous to see that happen, to see somebody sort of step into something that you have seen coming.
I really want to go back now and really want to take some kind of leadership position, because that was fun.
It was probably one of the best experiences so far in my life.
It kind of opened my eyes to other theological aspects of the Bible and God and things.
Being here with all these people makes me feel a little bit more confident about myself because I know that I can handle like a situation like this. When I tell people that I'm working as an internship and at my church and then at the Mennonite church, everyone who's Mennonite is like, oh, that's so great, you're gonna be a pastor, future of the church right here. And it's like, not really. I just kind of like God. That's why I'm here.
What attracted me to Emily is exactly that. And putting it that boldly and being that transparent about it. And, and this is the part I can't quite explain. I love Emily. And I kind of always have since I first met her. And she's not the only one. I mean, there are these youth that you meet that you think, oh my gosh, it is so wonderful to be with them. And she's one of them. And she has been so gracious and generous to me that I can't help but return it. And part of that then is saying, oh my, you darling child of God, how can we bless you in these ways? And how can we let other people get in on this blessing? And this is a great way to do it. I mean, to share her with the congregation and to share her with the Explore program and to invite all of these people to be collaborative.
I had there's a guy who I don't think I've ever talked to who just came up last week and he's like, I really appreciate the time that you've been spending in our congregation. It's good to see young people up there.
Explore makes concrete and real these intergenerational, intercongregational, big picture ventures that God is on. It helps cultivate our imaginations. So if there's something like Explore out there, it's an encouragement to pastors and other leaders in the congregation to really be thinking about who's coming next.